Welcome to Let's Roll With It show. I'm so excited that you stopped by, and I hope that you say hello to me. Let me know where you are calling in from, dialing in from, watching from. I'm just excited that you're here. Um, my name is Paulette Rolle-Alesnik, and I truly am excited. On this show, we typically talk about personal finances. That is, how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. Today, not so much. Well, we will be talking about that, but in a more indirect way. Today on the show, I'd like to discuss and share why I support women over men almost all of the time. I do. I've just seen a lot. So, again, welcome to the show. There are places in the world where women are regarded as less than men and are made to walk behind men, be left behind men to this day. There are places in the world where young girls are threatened or killed for seeking proper education. I'm talking about today in 2024. There are places in the world where female babies are disregarded as leftover chicken or food that's been sitting in the refrigerator, just discarded without thought. In abortion or killing, yes, there are places in the world where it happens today, places that I have put my feet on their land. So before we get all excited and call me a feminist, let me make this disclaimer. I am not a feminist. I love men. I love men in my life, not just my father, my brothers, and exes. I love men, and I see and realize the need for men in our lives. However, I take the position to support women. I want to say 100%, but that might be drastic since I have brothers and stuff. And I have so many of them. But I take the position to support women almost, here, something's coming up across my screen. I take the position to support women over men 99.999% of the time. So if you're just joining me, please hang in there. I'll share my story. I'll share a bit about my mom. We're not men haters. We're not trying to be men haters. I'm just here to share why Paulette Rolle-Alesnik prefer and will support women over men so many times. So if you're hopping on, again, thank you for connecting. Thank you for being a part of this discussion today. Please, in the chat, I will check the chat later. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who you are. Say hello, because we really will be discussing, again, why I take this position. Let me give you some scary statistics. You probably heard me say that there are places where women are disregarded. They're left to, actually made to walk behind the male figure, where young girls are threatened for seeking an education or the things that men just come to men, just as the natural part of society, or female babies are killed. And it is so sad because I've walked on many of these lands. But there are some disparity, like just throughout the world, not just in America. There are disparities. But in America, there is a statistic. You can research, you can always fact check anything I say on this channel. 15 million women, single women, are living with children in America. That's 15 million single women, whether they are single whether it's a marriage, divorce, just never got married, you're looking at 15 million women. 3 million men are living with children. So you look at 3 million single fathers, 15 million single mothers. So then, this is a fact. This is the statistics in America. 8% of CEOs in America are female, just 8%. So to me, this is discouraging because women are graduating college at a rate much higher than male. And the question is, why is it that this is still a mostly men world when women are just as educated, certainly have the smarts, the tenacity, the wisdom. And I think women are better strategists than men anyway. But I'm not a man hater. We're not here to put men down. We're just here to share why I support women, why I will support their businesses, their churches, just do things with them, do things for them more than I would men. If you're just hopping on, I want to say hello. Welcome to the Let's Roll With It show podcast. My name is Paulette, and I do appreciate you joining me. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go. Oh, before I forget, please like, subscribe, share the content with someone. If you're watching live, you can always invite someone, tag them on Facebook. You simply just put their names. You can tag them in the comment section. But if you're watching live on YouTube, just share the link. And I hope that your friends can join me and let's have a discussion. And I'm going to look in the comment section halfway through this discussion and see who's here and see if you have a story to share, because I too want to hear your story. Again, thank you for joining me. This is the Let's Roll With It show. My name is Paulette. Disclaimer, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a man hater. I do not hate men. In fact, I love men. I have some amazing men in my life, including my brothers, business partners, just a lot of men. And I do like them. Now let's go back to the realization of why I support women. I'm not going to start at the beginning, but I'm going to start at high school. I remembered in high school as an artist, as we're starting to train to take on the professional stage. So at the time we are dancing, it's just dance and theater and drama. We had to go through so much. I remember that the guys were allowed to be excused to do sports, and the female dancers were not allowed to. We had to run our lines. We had to rehearse even more than the male dancers. I remember that. I remember the disparity in knowing that we were so close to a show sometimes. It would be the day after show, or it would be maybe a few days before, and then a female, we can't control our bodies. We don't know when a menstrual period would start, but if it did, oftentimes you were striked from the show. Like we couldn't go on and maybe this is in an era where women didn't have, or in my country, we didn't have all the cute feminine products that are available to you young ladies today. But we would have worked months and months and months on our choreography, on the show, and yet we were striked from the show. And it was like, I'm thinking, why? Like, why do I give up 3 months of my life, 4 months of my life, and the show is this day? My body, what happens. And I saw women after women after women were striked from the show because of nature, right? So all of this happened. I have to think about it now. Like, why didn't the teachers, and my teacher was a female teacher, allow for something like this? Why didn't she prepare us? And guys were always getting a break. I don't hate them. This was just a system we worked in. So this happened. And I always saw, how come the guys get to do this? How come? So I see that there was preference, even in my high school, even in the arts, where the guys were being asked to, or being made to do stuff. So anyways, again, say hello if you're here, and I know who you are, even if I don't. Hi, Christine. Christine said hello. Thank you so much. Let me know your story. Again, today I'm talking about why I choose to support women 99.999% of the time. So, again, that's my story from high school. Let me bring it forward and talk about my mother. I watched my mom, and without sharing all of my family's business, because I don't have the right to, but I watched my mom take a position, and this would be in the 80s, and she took her kids to the city, and I watched my mom take care of us, her children. Like my dad was alive, my dad was there doing his thing, but I watched this woman decided to just like she shift gears because what she needed to happen wasn't happening. And with all of her kids, she went to the city to give us a better life. I am a testimony. Had I not moved to the city, I don't know if I would have been introduced to professional dance. I don't know if I would be here in America today, because it was the school that I went to where a U.S. military gentleman came to the assembly, one of our assemblies. Amazing how these thoughts just come. And he challenged us to, number one, write down. I was 15 years old, and he said, write out what you want to be in life. This man, he was a Christian in military uniform. I had never, ever seen a U.S. soldier live before. And come to think of it, I don't know why he was in the Bahamian school, but he was recruiting us. It's Army. And he asked us to write down the things we wanted to be in life. And I could remember this motivational speaker like it was yesterday. And I promise you, there are people who I have shown this piece of paper to, a 15-year-old child. I wrote down the things that I wanted to, I took the challenge of this soldier. And I remember when I hit 30, I opened the letter and had accomplished everything that he asked us to, right? I'm off on a bunny trail. So anyways, because of my mother, who took her children to the city and took care of her kids, she took a dip in her life and she said, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do with my kids. I watched her serve us in the most excellent way. And she had never, ever, ever had a job before. All my mom had done up to that point was take care of 9 people. That's all she'd done that I know of. Maybe before I came along, she'd done something else, but she never shared it. She was always a wife, always a mother. So because of that, I watched where on a tiny island, she had to have the burden of taking care of us for a while, and that being played out, and that having an effect on my life and our lives. For that reason, I support women. For that reason, I support mothers, and I always will. For the reason, like back in high school, because we were made to drop out of the production when nature called, when we couldn't, I'm talking about dance, y'all. So we had to wear very slim fitting clothing, and just, this might sound so foreign to some of you, but the products were not available to us as dancers, or we were not allowed to by our parents. So the teachers couldn't have us use certain products if the parents say the child could wear. So we literally had to sit out of the dances. It was amazing. And for that reason, I support women over men. Let me bring it here to America. Recently, I'm looking at my notes. So recently, we had an investors meeting in Florida, and I could remember it was not too long ago. So a couple of investors and myself, we had a meeting and we're talking about a project to be launched, right, in the near future. When we were done, so the business person, or I don't want to call names because I don't have permission to share, so I can only share my part of the story. So they had shared the fact that, hold on, I thought I heard music, so I had to make sure. So they shared the fact that they were going to move forward with an all-female cast, not to put guys aside, but to teach young women this particular industry. They wanted to teach young women how to do the things that they were doing, because females don't typically have an opportunity. And I tell you, the very day of that investors luncheon, I got a letter from a male who said to me, please tell your friends, no disrespect to your friends, I love what they're doing, happy they're coming to Lakeland to invest and move the community forward, but please tell your friends, don't bring this woman power type mentality to Lakeland, just let men work. I'm blown away here. I'm blown away. I'm like, what's going on? Because that's not what I got from that. What I got from the conversation, the presentation, was the fact that they're teaching girls at this particular industry. The girls were interested. And what's wrong with that? So, and for that reason, I support women almost 99.9% of the time. Hear me when I say, I have seen a lot. I have seen a lot of women drop, left behind, and just, okay, I see it, sorry. I've seen a lot of women dropped, a lot of women left behind, disregarded like trash, women with children. Let me tell you a story of a woman I know who was being beaten and battered, had to run for her life. I was a part of that story. I won't share the story, but she was being beaten and battered and literally had to hide. And in the middle of the night, she had to run for her life with her child. I remember that like yesterday. The male in the story went to jail. The woman had to run for her life with her child and had to take care of her child by herself. And she is one of probably millions of women across the world, certainly on the west side of the world, who have dealt with this. And for that reason, I support women almost all the time over men. And this is a personal story I'm talking about. Let me tell you about another lady, a lady who I have watched in tears, depression, almost lost her mind because a husband walked out on her and her two babies. You hear me? Not one, not two, but two babies. I've seen it. I bring people beyond tears, bring people beyond their knees to depression and despair. I have seen it personally, and I've been a part of these stories. And for that reason, I vow to support women over men 99.9% of the time. If you have a story, let me know. I would love, if you put it in the chat, I would love to share a little bit about it. Or please, in the comment section, share your story. Again, let me make the disclaimer. I am not a feminist. I am not a man hater. I have no interest in being on this like, oh, girls power, women power movement team. That's not me. Let me say it loud. I love men. Yes, I do. And I want them in my life. I want a man to lead me. Point blank, period. I want a man's shoulder to cry on. I want a man that I can call in my most vulnerable moments. I want to do that with a man, right? That's me. I want a man that I can just share my joys with, my highs, my lows, my joys, my secret. So yeah, I'm not trying to put men aside and say, oh, all those men and their dogs. No. But let me tell you about another lady. These are all personal stories. I just can't call names. I can't give details because they're not my stories to share yet. And I would love to bring them on this show and have them share their stories. But because of my friends and sisters, I call women who I love my sisters, not necessarily blood sister. They are the reason why I would support women 99.9% over men. So this sister has been married for 19 years. And the disparity in their relationship, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the psychological abuse to the point that the male controlled the money. When I say it was just so sad to me, like going grocery shopping was an issue. Going grocery shopping had to be a discussion. And yeah, I don't do well with that. I don't do well. And I watch this woman hurt, smile, but hurting. Kept working, kept moving forward, kept being herself, but hurting. And for that reason, I vow to support women 99.9% over men. I've seen women left. I've seen women dropped. I've seen women trampled on and even know of women who've been killed. I will always support women. Now, some of you might be on here and you might say, okay, maybe Paulette got left behind. Maybe somebody beat her up or had whatever. I can tell you, I've had not a lot of men in my life, but this is live. This is on YouTube, so people can find this. The men in my life have been very kind to me. So to take this position, I'm talking about my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, they've been kind to me. So this is no disregard for them. This is no throwing J's. I don't know if you know what that means. That's like a cultural thing. I'm not like, this ain't no arrow throwing at them at all. This is just an observation in my life and watching women being hurt over and over again. And the 3 women I spoke about are women I know, like in my life, been in my life for years and years and years. But their pain have become my pain. And for that reason, I vow to support women over men 99.9% of the time. Let me tell you about one more sister. This one is my real sister. Okay. So I don't know if she's on here. She'll watch this and go, what you? Anywho, so I saw my sister go through such an amazing, she has an amazing life, right? She has an amazing life. And I love all that she's about. She's a strong woman. She does for herself. But I remembered a time when she was married, but taking care of the family, taking care of her girls, taking care of the bills, taking care of everything. Because her man, who she's married to, didn't want to work full time. So I watched my sister almost go crazy in that time. And I thank God that we have family and we're around to be with her. So for that reason, I vow to always support my sisters over men. Again, if you are new here and you're just hopping on, my name is Paulette. I see somebody wrote a story. That's Christine. Thank you for sharing. My name is Paulette Rolle-Alesnik, and this is the Roll With It show. So on this channel, we talk about personal finances. That's how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. So I'm the multiple streams of income queen. That is what I do. But today I choose to talk about this in light of everything that's happening in the world. And it's almost as if I had an unction to share it because of the disparity. Everywhere I go, everything I read, it's always putting women down, women that are intelligent, women that are leading from the pulpit, women that are leading the world and still being asked to step behind or being left behind. And I can't, that's not okay with me. That's not what the Bible talks about. And I cannot sit and say, okay, it's okay for women to be 2 steps behind men. It's not okay for husbands to kind of sort of take care of their wives or children. No, it's not okay. It's not okay for, like the first example I give, for a man to beat his woman to the point where he has to go to jail and we have to rescue a woman and her child. So when you go to jail, there's no income coming into that home. So all the burden is on that woman and whoever chooses to support her. For that reason, I would always support women. And scenario number two, the woman who was left with two babies, right? This man just take off. For what reason? Because you feel different? I can't even say the word, but that's foolishness. That's foolishness when you can leave your home, your wife and your children, and think it's okay just to do whatever you do and not take care of them. For that reason, I will always support women. It's crazy that somebody can be married for 19 years and a husband not shacking up, married for 19 years, and husband think it's okay to control the finances, control them emotionally, abuse them verbally. It's not okay with me. It's not okay. It's not okay for my sister to take care of her own children when there's a husband, but the husband thinks he has to work part-time. It's not okay with me. And again, my disclaimer is I am not a feminist. I'm not a man hater. I'm just a woman lover. And I love my sisters. I love the women that I go to church with, the women that I work with. I love them. And I love the men that I have do business with. I love my brothers. I love them all. And I love the men that are in my life. So I love men. With that being said, I will still support the women. Point blank, period. Now let me share my story. This is the financial story that I want to share with you. I shared about my mom. I told you how she moved her and all of her kids to the city. And as a result of that, I am the person that I am as far as career because I was introduced to formal training in theater because my mother made the decision to make a better life for us. So yes, I know the disparity in women not having equal rights, equal opportunity as men. Now you might say, Paulette, why are you so passionate about this if you haven't had a man left you or dropped you or beat you? Men can't beat me. You see what I'm saying? They can't. You can't beat me. You could hit me, but you're not gonna beat me because you're gonna be dead. Or you only get one chance. I'm sorry. That's it. So that whole sentence with Paulette and beat, that it doesn't, I cannot comprehend it. Something will happen, but it will not happen again. And I won't be a free woman. So that decision is already made up. I won't be a free woman. I'll be in jail. I'll be somewhere. So that whole Paulette, no. We can't even have that discussion because it would not happen. Point blank, period. Yeah, it's going to be an accident. So you might say, Paula, you've not been beaten, you've not been dropped, you've not been left behind. You said you had a good marriage, a good ex-wife, ex-husband, a good boyfriend. Yes, I have. I've had great relationships, and I thank God for that. But let me tell you where my disparity showed up in corporate America. As most of you know, if you know me, I almost always wear braids or some type of authentic Black hairstyle, right? This is just who I am. Representation. I want to add the extension to my hair, but yeah, like Black girl representation. So my experience came in corporate America multiple times. But the time that threw me off my rocker the most, like I was just beyond shocked. I was disgusted. I wrote about this in my upcoming book, My Journey to Multiple Streams of Income. It'll be on Amazon really, really soon, but I'm sure if you follow me, I'm gonna blast it on TikTok and on all my social media platforms. So follow me on YouTube, on TikTok, social media. It's Paulette, P-R-A, and you'll see when the book gets launched. And we're gonna have a party. So if you live here in Florida, come to the party. I was just looking at a location today for my book launch party. Yes, I love parties, and it might be all white, but some of my girlfriends say no. So anyways, in corporate America, multiple times I watch men in HR just made decisions I'm sure were illegal, and I did not know at the time. So many things I did not know. You should grow older and wiser. So I pray that I'm wiser now. But nevertheless, I'm wise about that stuff. You can't pull that foolishness on me anymore. So there was a time I didn't look for this position. I worked at David A. Stra's Performing Arts Center. Some of you know the story. I was an adjunct professor there teaching, and I loved it there. I was there for years and years and years. So I got an invitation. I didn't look for it. It just came across my lap. And they're like, Paulette, you can do what you love to do, just the choreography, the theater, all that stuff. Okay. So I took the job. I loved it. It was closer to where I lived in North Tampa. And had an absolutely amazing group of people I work with. Seriously. One of my favorite workplaces, like fun people, cool people. My direct report, male, we became good friends, actually, really, really good friends. But in corporate America, they tell you, don't discuss your salary, right? Like, why? But sometimes we find out why. My direct report was male, and we became good friends. He recommended, when he was leaving the company and the state, he recommended me for his position. I interviewed, got the position. So he left. I took over. I'm managing, arts education. And he would check up on me, like, how's it going? Do you need help with anything? I think we text every day for a long time, like, oh, help me with this. It's just, we're close like that. We still are. And so I was promised a salary, and first paycheck, it didn't happen. I didn't see the increase. Oh, maybe these things are delayed. Second paycheck. So I addressed it with HR. They made some excuse. Oh, whatever. We can't pay you that cap salary right now. The salary that I interviewed at, the salary that I signed a contract for, we can't pay you that right now. I'm sure that must have been illegal. But it didn't happen. We need you to wait. So I waited, spoke with my new direct report, spoke with my new direct report. Then I called my former direct report, and we had a conversation. And I'm like, psh, what he told me, it was like crazy. So come to find out, this position, this pay for this position that they even offer me was lower than what he was making. I'm like totally ticked off, right? I'm like, how does this happen in America? How do you take someone, the money is allocated for this position, for this management position. Here is somebody who is leaving, recommend their staff, not to say, like, I did so much of his work even when he was there. I was always in the forefront. I was running meetings, I'm managing stuff. I'm like totally connected to the community. I brought more business into the company than he ever did, like times 4. And he could get on this call right now and tell you that. But yet I was offered less, and then they withhold that from me for months and months and months. So I had to pull in. Yeah, don't mess with my money. Seriously, don't mess with the money. So we had to pull in have some legal conversations. But before it got to that, my former direct report wrote a very strong letter. I wrote some more details of this is in my book. Don't forget to get my book, My Journey to Multiple Streams of Income. It hits Amazon soon, August 1st. So get your copy on Amazon, or just hit me up, follow me, and I'm going to blast it everywhere. You'll know that the book is being released. The book is for women. Again, I'm not a feminist. I don't hate men. Just trying to help women level up in their finances, trying to help women get their own bags, so that whether they're with husband or boyfriend, whomever, they at least have enough to support, to help in the family or support themselves. Or maybe just do what us girls do. Whatever we do with our she money, at least you have some. And that's my position, and that's the space that I'm in, coaching women to make more money, right? Don't be a hater. So anyways, we had to it came so close to a legal discussion. I'm just not sharing this. A lot of this the public don't know. But my former direct report wrote a very strong letter with his master's degree and all this English, whatever, a very strong letter on my behalf. And when I tell you this man he went to work for me. He went to work. He brought in the fact he was Caucasian. He brought in the fact that how is it that a white man who did this job can be paid this much more than a black woman who I never ever bragged on myself, who he bragged did much more than he did in the job. This is the reality of what we're dealing with. So ladies, this is why I support women, because so many men are out there making more, and because we're told not to discuss. You can get fired for discussing your salary in corporate America. I think that too need to be thrown out the door. I will discuss my salary when I want to. I work for myself now, but if I did, I will discuss it. Why is it a secret? That should be a hint. It's a secret because they're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. But I thank you now to this day. I will send this to my former direct report, not calling his name, not calling the company's names. Some people will figure it out, I am sure. But I thank him to this day. Hello, Joseph. Oh, Joseph is on here. Hi, Joseph. I'm not a man hater. You guys can tell you Joseph has been great. I don't hate men. I love men. I need men. I want men in my life. I've had the best of the best. Thank you, D. I see D online. Thank you guys for joining me. Those who said hello, I appreciate you. But honestly, I tell you, I will support women 99.9% of the time. If you're just hopping on, you might have missed me talking about in high school, how we were made to drop out of the show just because we had a period, just because our parents said we couldn't use certain feminine products because we were 13, 14, 15 years old and the guys were allowed to. We were putting in more work than the guys were allowed to go and do sports, and still they can get on stage and make $100 a night when we did all the work. That's wrong. And I don't know if it still happens today, but for that reason, I will support women almost 99.9% of the time. You might have missed when I talked about my mother, who moved all of her children to Nassau, and she took care of them, and she'd never ever worked outside of the home before. And I thank God for that woman. I love her so much. But it was because of her that I was introduced to professional theater and dance. Thank you, Mommy. Right? She made that move all on her own without my dad. It was because of her. And that's why I would always support women. You hear me talk about my sister who struggled because her husband wants to work part-time and not get another job. My sister moved 6 times in 1 year living with people. 6 times. This is a married woman with children. So for that reason, I vow to support women. I will support women because it's not right. I talk about another lady, not calling name. My sister's the only one you guys can relate to, but we're cool and all that stuff. She's going to watch this video, but she's a woman of power. So she made a decision to do better. Love her. Love her, love her. She's my other twin. I talk about a woman who husband left her with 2 babies, guys. Again, I'm not calling guys dogs. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just sharing my passionate reason why Paulette Rolle-Alesnik will support women almost all the time. I don't care what color they are. I don't care the faith or their religious beliefs. I don't care if they don't like me. What else can I don't care if they're rich or they're poor. I take the position to support women because of what I have seen. When a man can walk away from a woman with 2 babies, guys, come on now, 2 babies, and you cannot give your babies away. You cannot say, come for your babies just because you feel some kind of way. That is foolishness. That's why I support women. When a woman can be married 19 years and cannot decide what groceries she buys for her own refrigerator, that's why I support women. When men can beat women to the pulp, and we have to do, I call it a COVID operation, and go and grab them in the middle of the night to save their lives, and they go to jail, and they get 3 meals and air conditioning and free TV and internet, while this woman struggled to take care of her children. That's why I support women, and that's why I will always support women. So watch a video from the beginning so you can hear my passionate examples. You can hear my story, how my boss could make so much money. I had 10 times the experience as he did. And yes, he was a white male. I was a black male. When they called me to the job, I was recommended for the position and I'm making way less than him. And I have to fight for the raise that you promised me on a contract. Yeah, this is why I support women. I believe that women really see when women have money, this is what I think. This is what I see. Forget that. When women have money and women have certain things, when things are good, the woman will always take care of the family, including her man. That's what I see. I can't talk about you men because let the men talk about the men. I just know when I see women are in a good position, the home is in a good position. She takes care of herself. She takes care of her man. You know we do. She does. I'm not talking about just cooking in the bedroom. I mean, like he's going to look good. We're going to go shopping for them. We're going to make sure food is on the table. Vacations are planned. The children got what they need. We look good for them. Like when women are on top, women will always take care of her entire household, including her man and her children. And I don't see this happening across the board. I started this out by saying that places in the world right now in 2024, places I've been to, where women are regarded as less, like walk behind a man, like don't even speak unless he gives you the eye contact. In this world where she's less than a man, where young girls cannot get an education, and if they do, they're threatened or killed, where female babies are killed or aborted and disregarded like rotten chicken or stale conch. It's not even a discussion. You cannot have female babies. That's a God decision, not a man decision. We don't decide who lives and who dies in this world. God decides life. God gives life and he takes it away. And for this reason, because of what I see, the more I travel, the more I observe, I have made the decision, listen, I'm raising my right hand that I will support women. So women, if you have a business, you have an idea, you have a group, I got your back. I'm not even in this for the way I feel. I'm not even in this for Black women or women who have businesses or my sisters or Bahamian women or American women. I am in this for women, period. So I hope you hear my heart. Not disregarding the men, not being a man hater. I love men. I gotta say that. I love men. I love men. I love men. And kudos to say I have had amazing men. So I have no reason to like say all of this except what I've seen so many men do. Men are not dogs. Men are not second class. And this is sad because it's like an indictment. There are so many great men out there, yet statistics shows that there are 15 million single women who struggle in America. It's just facts. I mean, y'all can Google it or check it. I looked up a few sources, and in the space where I live, it's what I see. The church that I attend, the community center where I volunteer, within my family, this is what I see, and this is what I know. And for that reason, Paulette Rolle-Alesnik will support women financially, spiritually, economically. I will support women. Thank you guys. Again, this is Paulette Rolle-Alesnik. Welcome to the Let's Roll With It show. I would love to hear your story. On this show, we typically talk about finances, financial growth. That is how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. But today, I just had the strong desire to talk about And I think it's because I'm writing my book. So in writing the book, which will be released August 1st, hey, give it up, give it up, give it up. Somebody said this is a celebration, I think, in sign language. So my book will be released August 1st. Find it on Amazon. It's called My Journey to Multiple Streams of Income. Please support me by getting a book. And if you forget, I'm going to blast it on social media. So if you follow me, you will see. Please like, please subscribe, please share this with as many people. And please be an advocate for me. Let them know she is not man hating. She does not hate men. She's just expressing why she will support and why she's supporting myself, my mother, my sisters, my friend, my corporate experience. The man who came to the investors meeting not too long ago and told me to tell the investors, stop talking about teaching girls how to be better in this industry. Like, are you serious, dude? Are you serious? And I have it in writing. Like, left a meeting and wrote this letter to me. Tell your friends, he don't need to talk about teaching girls how to do this, and this. It's about girls' power. I'm like, okay, that's what you got from the meeting. I see a person who simply wants to teach young women an industry that they're not in. So for that reason, I will support women. Thank you very much. Please join me next week. I have a few guests coming up. We'll go back to talking about money. We'll go back to talking about how to increase. Please watch some of the videos. I've had some amazing guests on in the past. Last week, talking about how to do business with your county, right? How to, if you have a project and you want to work with your city, want to work with your county, so the ingredients and things you have to do. We talked about, Waymon was on here, one of the few guys that I've interviewed on this podcast. He told us how to 10x our money. You want to watch that video. I've had somebody else talking about taxes, Jen, talking about how to get the most from your tax deduction. She's one of my clients. I'll put all the links below because we are about helping people. Yeah, Menti will help you with your money. But we are about helping you grow your money for real, helping you start your business, and definitely showing you how to create multiple streams of income. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you so much for joining me. Some of you are weekly supporters. It's so important to me that to see that you're here. I love you sincerely. I love you. For those of you who are out of town and I don't get to see you all the time, like D, I love you to life, my dear brother. Yes. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you, and you have a great evening. Don't forget to subscribe, like,